Hello, everyone!
Hello, Community Call!
Live from the New York headquarters of Little Bits, this is Chloe and
Dave.
And a very special guest.
Who is it? Who's the guest?
Okay, I'll give you some hints, okay?
We do have a space in between us, just sort of waiting for someone to fill it.
I don't know. Maybe you'll find out. She was named one of the most creative people in business by Fast Company. Entrepreneur Magazine tapped an upcoming leaders to watch. In Popular Mechanics, 25 makers who are reinventing the American dream. Not to mention, she was at CNBC's Next List.
I can't place it.
Her TED Talk has over 1 million views.
1 million?
Yeah. She hates the color yellow.
Aya. It's Aya.
It's Aya.
Aya.
I know. Okay, so yeah, till Dave calms down a bit, we'll go through some of this month's news and community. We have Aya today. It was another month of incredible projects, incredible bits, and shenanigans.
Bitnanigans.
So here's some of our favorites. Brusher, the 3D printed musical toothbrush. What a beautiful project by Bastian, who is in the community call today. I can see him.
The design thinking thread on the forums.
That was such a good thread. I recommend you guys check it out. Also, Sonar happened this week. Amazing music festival in Barcelona. We had our own industrial design lead, Jordi Boras, and community member Renaud Bernard attend and give an amazing synth performance.
Some great Instagram shots from that event.
Some great Instagram shots. If you don't follow us on Instagram, now is the time. So, what else happened this month in the community?
There was the hardware crew.
Ooh, there's BitLab aficionados. They are so organized. They started a Trello board, I believe. They have 7 submissions coming. So happy. So happy. Just like the Happy Joy bit that got 1,000 votes. Amazing project. The Happy Joy bid is the result of the University of Pittsburgh's Art of Making Engineering course, where the students designed and fabricated a product for use in a real-world setting. Speaking of...
Oh, the Bit Olympic Games.
Oh my God,
I'm very
so
happy for the Bit Olympic Games.
I can't handle it. So they're starting soon. The Bit Olympics, as you guys know, are a free 3-week-long summer camp to invent your own extraordinary games, learn new skills, meet other bitsters from 45 nations around the world, and compete for prizes up to $5,000.
$5,000?
Okay. We're going to calm down now for a bit. It's a big day. Keep in mind, look out for Monday. We're going to send you some news and emails so you can sign up and participate online or in person in one of our chapters around the world. The games begin with a global makeathon on July 10th. And if you want to organize an event or are already organizing an event, you can join the Bit Olympic rooms after this part of the call is over. The IBC committee is there and they can help you. They have a lot of fun stuff for you, like guides and question.
Who's on the IBC?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
I'm a plant.
So the IBC committee is the International Bit Olympics Committee, and it's comprised by chapter leaders from all around the world. You can meet them today. They're wrangling the different rooms, and they've designed the challenges for the Bit Olympics, such as the Rhythmic Gymnastics Challenge, which asks you to create a graceful, synchronized routine that incorporates sound and movement.
Wonderful. We have a challenge for the folks in the Southern Hemisphere who are in wintertime. We have downhill skiing, which are projects that involve force and gravity.
And yeah, give them a shout out. Go find out more about the Bit Olympic Games in those rooms. Wow.
What a month.
What a day.
What a year.
What a special guest. Is it time?
It's time.
Oh my God. Okay. Now it's time for some special magical effects.
Bah!
They're magical. Okay, without further ado, Aya.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you.
very, very nice special effects, very high tech.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
We try.
Spent a
we
lot of
try.
time working
Yeah.
in the shop on that.
Yeah. So we'll start with the icebreaker. We're asking everybody on the call to share their dream bit. So I wanted to ask you, what was your first dream bit? What was the first?
The first dream bit, I don't know if I can remember. I think the first dream bit was the power bit. It was the
Okay.
start of everything. But I remember I remember my favorite dream bit of all time. And even though there are thousands and tens of thousands of dream bits, this remains my favorite one. I actually don't know who the submitter is, but it's a penguin finder bit. And I am very committed to making that bit happen one day so we can find penguins for whoever wants it. I think it's
They're very
serious.
elusive.
Very
Yeah,
elusive,
they
exactly.
are. So we have some questions from the community, and please keep your questions coming. So Enrica from La Tata Robotica in Italy says that when you first started, how did you make other people believe in the power and potential of Little Bits?
To be honest, they didn't. I mean, it was a lot of hard work, and it takes you putting a little bit of a shell around you so you cannot be offended every time somebody says, why is this cool? This is not exciting. I don't get it. And so it takes a lot of effort to not be offended or hurt by it. But then every once in a while, I used to get an email from someone, or somebody write in a note, or somebody would write about Little Bits and would say that this is the most incredible thing they'd seen in a long time, and they could imagine and see the power that it could have on people all over the world, and it would kind of restore my energy and my faith, and it would give me kind of the energy for the next sprint. So it's a very emotional process, but it's a good one.
Joey Wilson asks,
Hi, Joey.
Joey Wilson, we're big fan. As a maker yourself, what holes do you see in the current Little Bits vocabulary? What is missing in your opinion?
One thing that we've been wanting to do for a while, and we're starting to tackle more and more, is actually not a hole in the library itself, but how the library connects to the outside world. So how you can unlock other materials or other electronic or other mechanical systems. The first one of those was the brick adapter, the Lego adapter, which as soon as you make kind of a little plastic piece, suddenly the whole world of Lego opens up. So I think there's a few of those also that are pretty important. Within the Little Bits library itself, something that we want to, I want to push, I would like to see push a lot more, is just in general environmental kind of sensing, environmental reactions, really starting to get in touch with Earth and with the environment around us.
Dave,
Agree?
I agree.
Do you agree?
I want all of those things. No, I think it's I mean, sort of as someone who designs the projects and a lot of the example things, that yes, both the ability to interface with other things like Lego, like the stuff that we've been doing recently with the brick strip has been a lot of fun, but also the stuff that we had Philip Verbeek in the office yesterday, and the stuff that he's done with Lego and Little Bits is amazing, mind blowing. So yeah, I think that the more of those and the more we tap into those other communities, it's going to be amazing.
It's just about like pointing, kind of like imagine having a flashlight and we point the flashlight to somewhere and kind of illuminate a way. But then people have been doing things that honestly I never even imagined possible. It's been one of my favorite things to do in the world is to look on the project page and on Instagram to see what people are making, because it constantly blows my mind.
What has been a project or like a use of Little Bits that has surprised you?
There was one use that I was so surprised and delighted by, out of Michigan, one of our community members, Joy or Joie, who basically was teaching grammar with Little Bits. So she was using it to get kids that are still learning language, learning grammar, and not necessarily sharing the same language, to understand the mechanics and the rules of grammar through the color code of Little Bits. Like a noun, a verb, the order matters, swapping things out. That was so lovely. It was such a proof that you could, using electronics as a tool, but electronics are not the point. It's what you make with them. So that was very delightful. Joy, if you're here, hi.
Dave, do you have any questions?
Sure. So we've seen a lot of projects that have been very touching, very inspiring, very moving. And do you have any ones that stick out for you as the really sort of moving projects?
So this is going to sound like it's planted because I know that he's in the community call, but Joey Wilson's project recently was one that moved me to tears, actually. And your post as well really moved me to tears, because I lost my dad a few years ago, and I miss him a lot every day. And when I read the story about the voice box that Joey made with Little Bits in order to remember his dad's stories, it was kind of like, it was a heartwarming story all around, from a personal point of view, from my family, from a professional point of view, from Little Bits, but also from a point of view of an artist. And you know, being able to see an art piece that comes from a very personal, expressive place made with Little Bits was just, it was unbelievable. It actually moved people to tears in the office, lots of people. That was a really special moment.
Yeah.
But there are lots of them, and they happen. They're happening more and more frequently. I mean, seriously, people are blowing us away all the time.
Absolutely. I know I'm blown away every day from like the projects. I'd want to kind of pass the torch to educators. So we have a lot of educators here today, and we have like our first ever educators room. So I remember like a recent interview you gave at Bloomberg, and you said something that really, really stuck with me, and I loved it. And you said, education is something that happens to you. Learning is something that you do for yourself. So I wanted you to elaborate a bit on that. Like, do you see a shift in traditional education? Do you see Little Bits being a core part of that?
So actually that quote, and they only use half of it, that wasn't my quote, is Joey Ito, who's one of our early supporters, investors. He's director of the Media Lab at MIT, and he's a brilliant pioneer in open source and education. And it's a quote that he said, but it really stuck with me, and it's something that I've been kind of referencing. His point, and which I agree with 100%, is that traditionally, we've been looking at education as kind of a body of knowledge that has to be imparted on our students and our kids, and that there's somehow a finite amount of it. And when you graduate, you're kind of done. And at different times, you're checking boxes for where you are. And in fact, it's such the wrong way to look at it, because now some of the most interesting things that happen and that you learn, you're learning on your own. You're going on Wikipedia, you're learning them on YouTube, you're learning every day on Code Academy. So it's something that you are pulling as opposed to something that's being pushed onto you. And it's something that like we really believe very deeply at Little Bits as you do. I don't know if you guys know, but Chloe is an educator, is a designer of play and education experiences as well. And really one of her most special secret skills, well, won't be very secret for long, but basically designing informal and hands-on learning experiences, which are going to be brilliant, which I'm very, very excited about.
Now I am blushing.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Great. I mean, I think a part of, I think that what inspires kind of like educators with Little Bits is the confidence it gives in kids, right? So like the minute they kind of snap them together, you see them just taking like ownership of their learning and ownership of their creativity. And I was wondering, we were discussing with Dave, we were imagining what's your creative process like? You're so busy and you have such full days. Like what does your creative process look these days? Where do you get your inspiration?
To be honest, I get a lot of inspiration from New York. I really, really, I feel like New York is like this buzzing bubble of chaos and craziness and dirt and nerves and art and international people and diversity that is incredible, and inspiration is happening every day. It happens on the street, at a show that you see, an art show that you see sometimes, people that you meet on the subway, you know, a new sort of a guerrilla campaign that you see on the sidewalk. Everything is inspiring. So it's something I derive a lot of energy from being in New York. We get asked all the time why the company is not based in San Francisco, because it would be easier for a startup, especially in hardware, to be in San Francisco. I can't imagine it. New York is
But
where
we
the heart
love
is.
San Francisco.
But we love
So-
San Francisco.
for a West Coast community. So let's see if we have any questions from the chat.
La, la,
La, la, la,
We did have one question.
la.
We had one question, and I don't remember who, and I'm sorry because it was a little while up in the chat, but I saw it go past, which was they were asking about all the ways they sort of, besides chapters and community calls like this, what are the other ways that we sort of get the word out about Little Bits and other ways we connect?
So the chapters are a big piece, the forums are a big piece, but right now what a lot of what we're doing is like building the foundation, and now that the foundation is starting to get very, very solid, we can start to basically plaster the world with it. So I've had a fantasy for a while, I know Chloe has it too, to do a gigantic Little Bits festival with people coming from all over the world that are showing off their inventions, showing off the different uses that they have, and it becomes this like combination of a festival, a competition, an art show, and kind of a show and tell all at once for people to get a lot of inspiration from each other and to connect together. So that'll be something to look forward to.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Okay, we have some good questions coming in. So Khaled is asking, is there any possibility to see a software counterpart for Little Bits?
I'm not going to say much, but yes. Stay tuned. We like to do things with some drama and pizzazz at Little Bits, as you probably have noticed. So suffice to say that it's a very interesting thing on our minds.
More to come. Aliana asks if you have any advice for young women in hardware.
I kind of believe that time and energy that is spent on thinking about being a woman is time and energy that is taken away from being great at what you do. So I very actively try not to think about it and try to basically channel all the energy and excitement into the hardware product, into the company, into the community, as opposed to thinking about what's different because I'm a woman and what I could do, I can't do because I'm not a man, and all these things. And I think that all of that stuff, where we stand on the shoulders of giant women that have fought for us to be where we are, but now our role is to take it further and really and be the best we can be, and that's a really kind of energizing process.
Yeah, that's a great point of view. Eric asks, how has your talk on TED impacted your life as an educator and an inventor?
It's interesting, the talk at when I was preparing for the talk at TED, it took about 6 months of writing that talk. It was a really difficult exercise to try to summarize in a concise way, but also compelling, basically a life's worth of thoughts. And I didn't have that the process to prepare the talk was basically forced me to really think about what is the essence of what we're trying to do and what Little Bits is, and edit out a lot of extra fluff and extra content and extra ideas, and to be like, what is the core idea? So it was actually a really nice moment to kind of be introspective and find your inner truth, and then stand on a stage that was a world stage and be able to tell that truth and that point of view to the world. So it was very nerve-wracking. I think I may have like thrown up that morning out of like the nerves in the stomach. Yeah.
Nobody noticed. It was obviously such an amazing talk.
You with makeup.
Did it feel different after that? I mean, sort of in the office, and was there sort of a different energy?
It was huge. It actually didn't go live right away, but I felt different. And I came back to the office. We were still in a 10 by 10 office in the West Village in a shared space. And so it was still kind of early, and we felt a lot of the energy, but it was only internal. And then in June, I guess June of 2012 is when the talk went online. And the TED team emailed me and said, your talk is going to go online next week. Are you going to be ready? Like, is your website going to be ready? And I was like, what do they mean? And then it was like, oh, your traffic is going to spike. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then basically like we exploded into like 4 days worth of crazy tech cleanup. The website was handmade on WordPress. It was on some local server. I don't know where. It was a disaster. And had they not told us, like the website would have crashed. It was one of our biggest spikes, and we got so much interest from so many different countries, ages, genders, backgrounds. It was really, really, really a beautiful kind of milestone. Yeah. TED is a very, very international platform, which is very akin to Little Bits. Like our goal is to cross any boundaries. So that was kind of the first time we saw that play out. It was nice.
Okay, let's take one more question. Let's see. Ta-da-da. Ooh, this is a good one. So as the founder and leader of Little Bits, what is the mission you feel that really drives us?
It's sort of what you alluded to before. The mission at its very, very core is to give people creative confidence. At the surface, what we say is to help everyone become an inventor. But what that means, more than becoming an inventor by profession, it's having the confidence to invent and the confidence to create, and realizing that maybe you spent your whole life thinking that you're not a creative person. We don't believe that to be true. We believe every person is creative, and society has somehow made us believe that we fit in certain buckets, and some of us are creative, some of us are not. So at the core of it, our mission is to unlock that and to like unleash the creativity.
Reminds me of a great quote. We were in at the University of North Carolina talking to a bunch of educators. And what one of them said about her experience using Little Bits in a science classroom was, who the science stars of your classroom are is going to change when you bring Little Bits in.
Oh.
Because what it is doing is it is sort of unleashing and unlocking something for a whole different set of people that the traditional science activities weren't reaching.
Yeah.
So,
that's a beautiful thing to hear. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of our classrooms and even our workplace settings are designed for more extroverted characters, for characters that are more, for people that are more traditionally achieving kind of educational milestones. And so you have all these kids and even these adults that have incredible creative skills at the intersection of disciplines, and they don't get to express them. So just if we can help even one bit with that, it's hugely worthwhile.
So unfortunately, all good things have to end. This is the end of this part of the call. But we're going to break out now into rooms for the newbies in the call. You're going to see a few breakout rooms on the side. They're open. You can join them. Me and Dave are going to join some of the rooms. We're going to have our room wranglers also waiting you. Make sure if you join to introduce yourself, where you're joining in from, and share your favorite dream bit. And then, yeah, we'll see you all soon. Okay?
Thank you.
Happy Wednesday. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Aya.
Thank you.
Oh.